Here's a conversation I had at ISC West with Michael Wong, the President and CEO of Genea. During our conversation, we talked about our partnership, why openness and open architecture is so important for the industry and customers, and we took an interactive walkthrough of their booth that highlights all the cool features and solutions that Genea brings. Make sure you listen in to this entire conversation. You'll be impressed.
Mike, thanks for joining the Mercury Minute.
Yeah.
Thanks for being a great Mercury partner as well. We value what you guys do. We have Mercury controllers over on the wall here. You're a big supporter. You're a big supporter of open. We even have some nice signs. I think these are really true. Hardware hostage is a real thing, but I want to know why is...
All right. Hold the phone. We're slamming on the brakes for a second. Sorry, Michael, for interrupting. But I think it's really important that we talk about these picket signs and the message that you're delivering. I really love bold statements, especially when those statements aren't built around fear and they're telling the truth. And I think this is one of those situations. With Mercury, the platform is open and it provides end users choice. You can put a piece of hardware in, and that hardware will talk to 35 different access control systems, Genea being one of them. This is unlike proprietary-based systems where you buy that piece of hardware and that hardware only talks with one platform, giving you no choice in the future if you ever need to make a change. All right, I just had to say something. Genea, I love the boldness with these. Great job. Let's get back to the episode.
Hardware hostage is a real thing, but I want to know, why is Mercury and open platforms, why is that an important thing for Genea and your customers?
Well, when we got into the space through acquisition in 2019, one of the things that was very important for us is that we want to continue to earn our customers' loyalty and retain them as a customer, not because we sold them some proprietary hardware that they can't get rid of us, but because we provide great value and service. And so there's two forms of hostages in this industry. One is, I'm going to sell you something that you don't know that there's only one software that can interact with it. We're going to sell you something that if we don't do our job, you have many other software providers who can still use that hardware. And then there's the platform hostage, right? We are the most open platform out there, which means we integrate with as many technologies as possible with direct integrations that, by the way, we don't charge for.
That's probably like one of the only people in the industry that you don't charge for.
Our price book is one page, not a 50-pound book. There's an integration that we haven't built yet. We have open APIs, so if you type up Genea API on Google, you'll see our API docs. Why is that important? Because we want to make sure that if you want to use our visitor management, that's great, but we also integrate with others. We want to have an open platform that you can choose to integrate whatever you want with.
Yeah, and that's where I love our relationship, because the outcome is choice for the end user, right?
Absolutely.
Like, we want them using our platform, of course, but we want them to have choice, and that delivers value for both of us.
This industry has been wrought full of, we're going to try to trick our customers into being stuck.
Yeah.
And we just don't think that's right. We think the freedom of choice is super important.
You have a really cool experience center here at ISC West, and I think this shows how a lot of your technology works from end to end. So could you maybe explain the experience center, and can we walk through?
Yeah, absolutely. So coming into the show, we didn't want to just talk about physical security. We wanted to have people physically experience it. One of the things we did was we built this structure so that we can show how our platform interacts with intercoms, any SIP intercom. We have mobile credentials, so you can unlock the door with a mobile key. You can also unlock it with a QR code for visitors as well.
Okay.
So it gives you multiple opportunities. I can unlock it with an Apple Watch.
Nice. I'm going to sneak through.
Yeah, please. We have a rendering of an elevator, because oftentimes you have a reader at an elevator, and so if I use my mobile key at the elevator, I can hit the other floors. I can hit floor 3, because that's the one I'm authorized to show to. And all that shows up in our dashboard, so you can kind of see the corresponding access logs, and to the extent that you have a picture associated with that credential, the picture will show up. And then this is our platform. It's a configurable dashboard, so depending on who you are in the organization, you'll have different things that you want to look at. And so you have a floor plan, you have alarms, you can have an analytics dashboard. It's a very robust platform, but with very simple UI.
And one of the unique things about Genea is you're fully cloud-based, you're hosted in the cloud, you manage everything, you make it really easy for customers with updates and not having to have server infrastructure. Can you talk a little about that?
So natively built in the cloud, that gives us a huge advantage. Every other OEM in the space has this monolithic code base that if they were to add a new feature, they have to QA it against the entire code base. And that's part of the reason why they can't innovate very quickly. Last year alone, we had 55 new feature releases. On average, more than one a week.
That's
and
amazing.
so when we tell some of the most sophisticated tech companies here that have been, come into our booth, they're like, this makes sense, right? Versus dealing with something that's archaic.
Yeah. What you're doing is really innovative, and I think there's a lot of old hardware, old software platforms out there that aren't innovative, whether they're proprietary or not. So
Correct.
Customers that are stuck on those systems, what would you say to them? Why does Genea help them get past that?
It gets tied back to the Mercury story. So we want to sell something that doesn't hold you hostage. But equally, if you made the right decision at one point in time and you bought an access control system that is also using Mercury, great news. We can actually take that over without replacing any of the panels.
Yeah.
And so we've done that at scale. So there's a lot of skepticism. Is that even possible? We did it for a Fortune 50 company with
A really big customer.
a very big customer, maybe with a red logo and a retailer based in Minneapolis, where they were using an on-prem system for a long time. They were looking at going to the cloud. They said none of the other cloud applications could meet their scale or complexity. They looked at our application, they said, we think you can handle it. So in 5 months, we took over everything. All corporate offices, all distribution centers, all data centers, 142 locations across 18 countries with 180,000 cardholders. 5 months. Once again, it just strengthens the reason why nobody should ever buy anything besides Mercury. It'd be foolish. Nobody should ever buy anything besides Mercury. It'd be foolish.
We like that message. That's
Yeah.
a good message. Could you talk about, I know you play a lot in the university space as well. So if there's customers watching that are in the university space, how does Genea help them? How do you play in that space?
Yeah, so we have partnerships with the leading providers of campus ID and payments, and so we integrate directly with their platforms. So from a user provisioning standpoint, it's seamless. They don't have to manually enter new users into our platform. It's automated. We're a big believer in automation. A large customer that I referenced, as well as a lot of other ones, they said based on implementing Genea, they've had north of 90% labor savings by just not having to do manual processes, not maintaining servers, not updating software, not having to manually provision credentials. All that becomes automated in our platform.
The system pays for itself at that point.
Very easy.
Very nice. Some closing words. What would you say? What's the one thing that you want customers to know about Genea? Why should they come talk to you?
First of all, see the platform, right? I think the platform speaks for itself. What we're hearing from end users is this is nothing like anything else out there. It's the way it's been framed, which I love, is others are security companies trying to figure out the technology, and we're the technology, bringing modern technology to the security industry, and we're doing it in a very powerful way.
Appreciate the time. Thank you for the partnership.
Thank you.
Thanks for believing in Mercury. We love working with you.
Big fan.
All right, thanks.
Awesome, Nancy.
That's the Mercury Minute. Stay open and stay secure, my friends. See y'all next time.